Moment of truth. So we're working on some solar options for the little micro cabin in my log yard. I'm a little unsure what to do. It may be even something that we do for some of these bigger ones. But I bought this kit just to kind of get my feet wet. This is made by EcoWorthy, and I found it on Amazon, as one does. It's about $500 for this kit. It's kind of a, I don't know, I thought it was a little more plug and play all in one, and it may be that I just got it wrong. But let's go get this installed and see how it works. All right, so this is a 200 watt kit. It says these panels are 100 watts a piece. There's two of them. This is a 600 watt inverter. So I suppose if you wanted to add batteries, it is expandable. The order of operations is to link these panels together, cord off, into the charge controller, to the battery, to the inverter. So you can do 12 volt directly off of here, USB stuff. So if that's all you wanted was these panels and this, that would work for electric while the sun's out. If you want to store something in a battery or use 110, this will take the DC, 12 volt DC, and turn it into AC you can use for your regular household appliances. And this battery will store some power to run the inverter. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to this kit. Here we go. This is the cord that links the panels together. So it looks like we got a positive and negative of each. So these are going to be like your two negative and your two positive, or the other way around. Then you got one of each this way with a cord that's going to come down and go into the charge controller. So we got to get these on a roof, cord hanging down, I guess. All right, so this is the southern exposure. As you can see, nice sunny day today. I think this will work good. When the leaves come out, if it's a problem, I might trim some of these little ones to give it a more of a straight shot. But the first thing we're gonna do on the roof, it's as simple as tying the two panels together and throwing a cord over, and then we'll drill it inside. The rest will be done from inside. I'm not 100% on this yet. I really, they didn't give me this. This is not a sponsored deal. I'm not even sure this is the right deal. I'm kind of winging it here, so I want to be sure it's right before I start screwing it down. But this is kind of hard to screw up here. You gotta be a little careful because these are, I don't know if you could shock yourself on them, but they are pulling power now, being in the sun. So don't stick your tongue on it. This reminds me of a story. Go figure. Guy working for me, Martin, we talked about him in a previous video. When solar was kind of, I don't want to say becoming more popular, let's say, they started making roof exhaust fans that ran off solar. And for my day job, I own a roofing company. And Martin was our repair tech. And so we had gotten some of these solar powered exhaust fans for the roof, and we thought, well, let's try these things out on my house and see how they work. They run during the day and then they go off at night, which works pretty good, but they require no power. Good for the roof exhaust. We're talking work here. Struggle with that my whole life. We were at my house and I said, these stupid things don't work. They're not running, they're not doing anything. I want to get rid of them. And the sales rep was like, well, here's a different brand. Try these ones, see if they work better. So Martin and I were at my house taking them off the roof just like this. And he pulls the fan off. He goes, yeah, they're not working. And he holds it up and he's climbing down the ladder and the fan's just going to town in his hand. But they were so quiet you couldn't tell. There was nothing wrong with them. And they're like $900 a piece at the time. Okay. Let's get out of the wind and down below and get off this roof. All right, we got to find the right screw to go in this charge controller. I don't know how many guys are in the trades if your pockets wind up looking like that. And I used to have another guy that worked for me, one of my roofers. His name was Steve as well, is Steve as well. He would always carry pockets like this, his pouch, 18 kinds of nails, screws, whatever. So everybody always yells, "Steven, you got any whatever?" And he would always say, "Whatever's in my pouch. Build a whole house with what's in my pouch." He wasn't wrong. I feel like everything's going to shock me when it's in the sun. I don't think that's how that works. All right, let's go inside. So I suppose these probably have power coming out of them. I should get something and test them, but you don't want to take both of these and cut them off at the same time because you might. It's not a lot of power, not like 230 volts coming through here. You know how we test it? I guess they're broken. I'm going to mount this down below because I think I'm going to put a table through here or something to kind of hide it, cover it up. Okay, it's dark in here. I can get a little light. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there are three sets of 2 screws. Solar panels here, that goes to the battery, and this goes to 12 volts. So like I was saying before, if you didn't need to store power in a battery and all you were doing was a DC low voltage, run some lights or whatever, you could like charge your phone right off of here. I don't know that this is like a protected power that wouldn't fry your phone out, but maybe we'll find out one day. All right, that says 14.3 volts, panels, the battery, the light. Hi. That's like every time you go camping and somebody's wearing a headlamp and they forget that they have it on and they just blind you while they're talking to you. All right, now we need to go to the battery. Made in the USA. Just gonna tack these on here because there's juice in that battery and juice out of those lines. But I still gotta put the fuse one to the inverter. Why did that go off? Brown to negative. Nope. I just hooked that up wrong, folks. Shouldn't be doing this stuff on camera. Get busted doing hack work. Okay. Okay, inverter, and I think then we're done. Looks pretty. My cable management skills are lacking. All right, so we have the panels to the charge controller to the battery. And I believe that will just charge the battery, but if you want to step it up to like, keep blinding you guys. If you want to step it up to like 110, you've got to have an inverter. So this is a 600 watt inverter. It's got 2 110 outlets. It's got a USB port. There's also 2 on the charge controller. And then this is like a remote switch. So we could mount this over by the door if we wanted, and you could turn this inverter on and off. Because you don't want it just running all the time. You can also turn it on and off with the on and off switch. So I don't know if this will play a role in what we're doing, but if this is like powering your lights and you want to put it over by the door, then you could flip it on. Might be kind of useful. Ready for the moment of action? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's try her out. Got all kinds of goodies here to open up. Amazon, whoa. Well, this is a battery light. I didn't know it was a battery light. What's happening here? So I'm a big fan of LEDs and low voltage stuff. Just seems like you're making a lot more power off the grid than you actually need. You know, light bulb does not, especially an LED, does not take much power. And you know, you're coming off the panels to this charge controller and you've got 12 volt right there. I know I'm probably saying this wrong, and probably a bunch of you are way smarter than me, and I'm sure you'll let me know. This apparently works without being plugged in. We got to keep the battery in it charged. What seems really inefficient to me, and I started figuring this out with like charging, 20 volt batteries for tools, things like that. When you have something that plugs into the wall socket that is like let's say this light that uses this little USB to charge it. I can plug this directly into that charge troller and it will charge this light. It doesn't make sense to me to come in 12 volt, step it up to 120 with this inverter, and then step it back down to 12 volt just to charge a battery. So I am trying to get as many things like in this cabin or the others that use low voltage so that they don't have to use an inverter to step the power up, and that'll save a lot of life on your battery. This has apparently got a little battery in it. This thing would probably run, I don't know, for a week without even charging it. So if we leave a cord in the cabin, because we are kind of testing out what we got to do for these cabins, people can either plug it in and charge it when it runs low as needed, or we can just leave it plugged in, but we're not using up all the power. Well, that works without magic. Let's get something and properly test this thing out. All right, so hopefully you can see me. This is one of our filming lights. You could see our other system. We've got kind of a jackery setup over there powering the lights because there really is no electric out here. Well, wasn't. I think there is now. Moment of truth. Oh, it works! Oh, that's good. There's a big delay in it. I wasn't sure it was going to go, but man, I think we're good. Well, that's pretty awesome. It's kind of a cool little system. It clearly works, and I mean, I'm sure that battery had charge in it, but sunny day. I think this is a good option for these little cabins. You know, when people are coming to stay here, they don't need a lot of power. If you're going to like backpack up to one of these cabins, because they will not be in a part of our property on Kentucky that you can reach without a side-by-side, which we will not let people ride their side-by-sides and ATVs all over the property. But this will be purely a hike in. That's great. So to charge your phone, maybe we'll have a little television, something like that. And the fact that you could expand this and put like 5 of those panels to charge this up, I'm sure you could link batteries together, all kinds of things. Boy, you could run a little TV up there and maybe Starlink, and you could watch Netflix on top of the world. That'll be pretty awesome. So if you're wondering like the skill level involved or time to put this together, I didn't even read the directions because, well, that looks like a lot of reading and I'm not that smart. So we probably got 2 hours into this, and that's what making a YouTube video. So I think getting on the roof and screwing the panels down would be the most involving part of it, but the rest of it is really plug and play. This is pretty simple. So this is my little solar system. I'm pretty happy with it. It clearly is working. I'm not 100% that this is what I want to do in Kentucky. You know, they've got some systems that are a little more fail-safe. I worry about this with a couple exposed screws, somebody dropping something on it, all these wires. It's, you know, not high voltage till it comes out of here. So you're not in danger of shocking someone. It definitely needs to be tidied up. So maybe the next time you see this system, I'll have it less spiderwebby looking. But I think it works pretty well. I'm excited about it. We'll keep working at this till we get it right. That's sort of the purpose of this cabin, is experimenting for what we're going to do when it really matters. I think we'll get it right. So anyways, hopefully you'll come along with us. We'll see you then.